that behind all the tears, heartbreak, and breathtaking ranch views, the Heartland cast was secretly the funniest crew on television? Season 19 didn't just give us drama, it gave us laughter that could echo through the foothills. What happens when Amber Marshall forgets her lines, Shawn Johnston cracks an unexpected joke, or Michelle Morgan turns a serious scene into pure chaos? The result? Outtakes so hilarious, you'll be wiping away tears. Not from sadness, but from laughing too hard. Let's dive deep into the moments that prove the Heartland family isn't just talented, they're downright unstoppable. When the cameras aren't rolling, it's easy to think that a show as emotional and heartwarming as Heartland runs like clockwork. But behind the cameras, it's a totally different story. Take the very first week of shooting season 19. What was supposed to be a calm, emotional reunion scene quickly spiraled into a laughing fit that no one could control. Amber Marshall, who plays Amy Fleming, tried her best to stay serious as she delivered her lines, but one tiny mistake sent everyone over the edge. The way she tried to hide her laughter, only to completely lose it seconds later, became an instant classic among the cast. And then there's Shawn Johnston, our beloved Jack Bartlett. The man might be known for his wisdom and calm presence on screen, but off-screen, he's the mischief maker no one expects. During one take, Shawn decided to add a completely random line in his usual gruff voice, leaving Amber speechless and the rest of the crew in hysterics. It's these spontaneous moments that remind us how much joy fills the Heartland set. Even the crew members behind the camera couldn't stop laughing long enough to yell "cut." But perhaps the best part about these outtakes isn't just the laughter, it's the bond. You can feel how close this cast really is. They've spent years together, growing not just as actors, but as a family. So when a funny moment happens, it doesn't just break character, it breaks the tension, the fatigue, and sometimes even the long silence of a tough filming day. These bloopers show that no matter how serious the storylines get, the people behind them are full of light and humor. Amber Marshall, in particular, has become somewhat of a legend when it comes to behind-the-scenes laughter. She often teases her co-stars in the sweetest way, turning simple moments into comedy gold. Whether she's making a funny face at the camera, poking fun at a missed line, or laughing uncontrollably during emotional scenes, Amber's joy becomes contagious. Fans might adore her as Amy, the strong and caring horse whisperer, but off-screen, she's just as lovable, proving that laughter is her secret superpower. And then there's Michelle Morgan, Lou Fleming herself, who always finds a way to bring energy to the set. During one memorable scene, Michelle tried delivering her emotional speech but completely forgot the line halfway through. Instead of stopping, she improvised in the most dramatic way possible, making everyone burst out laughing. What followed was a chorus of giggles from the entire crew, with Michelle herself unable to continue without smiling. These moments never make it to the final cut, but they live on in the hearts of everyone who witnesses them. Heartland Season 19 might be known for its emotional growth and heartfelt storytelling, but beneath it all lies a world of laughter that most fans never see. The ranch that often hosts tears and trials also echoes with endless joy. These outtakes are proof that while the show tells stories of love, loss, and resilience, its cast builds those same emotions in real life, through laughter, friendship, and genuine connection. And if you thought this was just the beginning, wait until you hear what happens when Michelle Morgan teams up with her on-screen daughter. Because when those two get together, the real chaos begins. When it comes to pure, unstoppable energy on the Heartland set, no one delivers it quite like Michelle Morgan and Bay McPherson, the mother-daughter duo who play Lou and Katie Fleming. Their chemistry on-screen is heartfelt and emotional, but behind the scenes, it's a comedy show of its own. The moment the cameras stop rolling, these two turn into the ultimate pranksters, filling the set with laughter that echoes through every corner of the barn. One of the funniest moments from Season 19's outtakes came when Michelle and Bay were rehearsing a serious mother-daughter argument. The scene required intensity, raised voices, teary eyes, and all the tension you'd expect from a Heartland family moment. But halfway through the take, Bay suddenly mimicked Michelle's hand gestures in perfect timing, like a mirror image. The result? Michelle burst out laughing, completely breaking character, while the director threw his hands up in defeat. It wasn't just the line that was lost, it was the entire room, as everyone doubled over laughing. Michelle has always had a playful side, but Season 19 seems to have unleashed her full comedic spirit. Between takes, she's known for doing little dance moves, making funny voices, and cracking jokes that leave even the most serious cast members struggling to keep it together. She once joked that laughter was her way of surviving the long shooting days. And looking at the outtakes, that couldn't be more true. Her humor keeps the atmosphere light, especially during intense emotional scenes that can take a toll on everyone. Bae McPherson, on the other hand, has quickly proven that she's inherited Michelle's same spark. Though younger, she's fearless when it comes to goofing around. There's a running joke among the crew that whenever Michelle forgets her line, Bae tries to save the moment by improvising something completely random, usually something that makes no sense but somehow ends with both of them cracking up uncontrollably. The two share this natural, unfiltered connection that radiates warmth and laughter. One behind-the-scenes moment perfectly captured their energy. During a dinner scene, Michelle accidentally spilled a bit of water on the table. Instead of stopping, Bae pretended to be outraged, saying in the most dramatic voice, "Mom, you've ruined dinner again?" The entire crew erupted in laughter, and even Shawn Johnston, who's usually the calm center of the set, couldn't resist chuckling. It was one of those tiny moments that revealed the beautiful balance between professionalism and playfulness that defines Heartland's cast. What makes these outtakes so special is how real they feel. The laughter isn't staged. It's natural and effortless. You can see how deeply these actors care for each other, how comfortable they are to let go and be silly. In a show known for emotional depth, these moments of genuine laughter are like sunshine breaking through the clouds. They remind everyone, cast, crew, and fans alike, that even in a story about life's struggles, there's always room for joy. Michelle once shared in an interview that the Heartland set feels like a second home. And watching the outtakes, you truly believe it. Every time she and Bae burst into giggles, it's not just about the joke, it's about shared memories, mutual respect, and a bond that feels real. The connection between them doesn't end when the cameras stop. It continues in every laugh, every inside joke, every playful eye roll that happens when one of them forgets a line. And while Michelle and Bae's chaotic energy often steals the spotlight, they aren't the only ones turning Heartland's filming days into a comedy marathon. Because somewhere nearby, another fan-favorite actress has her own way of spreading laughter, and she does it with a mix of charm, grace, and a little bit of Halloween magic. Get ready, because Amber Marshall is about to prove that even the calmest soul on set can become the life of the party. Amber Marshall might be the calm, graceful heart of Heartland, but when the cameras stop rolling, she's the one who turns the entire set into a laughter-filled playground. She has that rare ability to find humor in even the most serious moments. Whether it's a tiny mistake, a mispronounced line, or an unplanned blooper with a horse, Amber somehow makes it 10 times funnier just by laughing at herself. And that laugh, light, genuine, and completely contagious, has become the soundtrack of Heartland. Outtakes, one unforgettable blooper from season 19 happened during what was supposed to be a heartfelt scene between Amy and Jack. The two were standing by the barn, discussing life, loss, and love, the kind of emotional conversation that pulls viewers in. Everything was going perfectly until a nearby horse decided it wanted to be part of the scene too. Just as Amber delivered her emotional line, the horse let out the loudest snort imaginable. Amber froze for half a second, then burst into uncontrollable laughter, completely breaking the mood. Shawn Johnston, ever the professional, tried to keep going, but even he couldn't hold back a grin. Within seconds, the entire crew was laughing, and the take was scrapped. Amber later joked that the horse deserved a supporting role for its impeccable timing. What fans might not realize is how much Amber's laughter actually keeps the whole team grounded. Filming Heartland isn't always easy. It takes long hours, unpredictable weather, and emotional scenes that can be draining. But Amber's lighthearted nature turns those challenges into something beautiful. When she trips over a prop or accidentally walks into a scene too early instead of frustration, it becomes a shared joke. Her ability to laugh through mistakes has created an environment where everyone feels free to relax and enjoy their work. And let's not forget Amber's Halloween obsession, which adds another layer of fun to the Heartland chaos. Every year, she surprises her co-stars with creative costumes, sometimes even coordinating group themes. During the filming of season 19, she reportedly showed up to the set in full costume just to lighten the mood between scenes. Imagine Amy Fleming, dressed as a pumpkin or a cowgirl ghost, casually holding her coffee and chatting with the director. It's the kind of moment that perfectly sums up Amber's personality. She doesn't just act with her heart, she lives with one full of laughter. One of the funniest outtakes that fans adore came from a riding scene gone wrong. Amber was supposed to mount her horse gracefully, but instead her foot slipped and she ended up hanging awkwardly by the saddle while trying to stay in character. The camera kept rolling as she laughed uncontrollably, waving her hands and saying, "Well, that didn't go as planned." It became one of the most replayed behind-the-scenes moments, not because it was perfect, but because it was real. Amber's ability to laugh at herself makes her not just relatable, but truly beloved. Even when she's off camera, Amber's humor shines. During interviews or live Q&As, she often teases her co-stars, especially Michelle Morgan. The two share a friendship filled with playful banter and inside jokes. During one outtake, Michelle accidentally called Amber by her real name instead of Amy, and without missing a beat, Amber quipped, "That's okay, Lou. Real life is more dramatic anyway." The room exploded with laughter, and even the director gave up trying to regain order for a few minutes. There's also an unspoken bond between Amber and the crew. She's known for joking with the camera operators, waving at them mid-scene, or pulling funny faces during close-ups. It's not just to be silly, it's her way of keeping spirits high, reminding everyone that they're not just making a show, they're making memories. Her positivity has become a quiet force that shapes the energy on set. Amber once said in an interview that the best part of filming Heartland is that we're all allowed to be human. And that's exactly what these outtakes show. Behind the beautiful cinematography and emotional storytelling, there's a team of people who laugh together, mess up together, and keep pushing forward together. Amber's laughter often marks the start of that energy. It's the spark that keeps the cast glowing even through long nights and emotional scenes. But while Amber may be the queen of accidental comedy, there's one cast member who's known for his unexpected, sharp-witted humor. He doesn't laugh the loudest, but when he does, everyone around him loses control. Yes, it's time to talk about Shawn Johnston, the wise, charming, and surprisingly hilarious Jack Bartlett, whose outtakes are a world of their own. You might think of Shawn Johnston as the wise, no-nonsense grandfather of Heartland, a man whose calm demeanor and deep voice command respect. On screen, Jack Bartlett is the anchor of the Fleming family, steady, serious, and grounded. But the truth is, behind the camera, Shawn is the complete opposite. He's the joker, the storyteller, and sometimes the biggest troublemaker on set. The minute a scene turns too serious, you can count on him to drop a perfectly timed joke that sends everyone into fits of laughter. Season 19 gave us some of the most unforgettable Shawn moments in Heartland history. During one emotional barn scene, where Jack was supposed to deliver a heartfelt monologue to Amy, Shawn suddenly blanked on his lines. Instead of stopping the take, he had lived something completely random, turning his serious speech into what sounded like a country song. Amber Marshall tried her best to stay composed, but halfway through his impromptu tune, she collapsed into laughter. The entire crew followed, and it took almost 10 minutes before anyone could get through the scene again. Shawn later joked that maybe Jack should quit ranching and become a singer, but Shawn's humor isn't loud or chaotic. It's smooth, clever, and often comes out of nowhere. He's the kind of person who can turn a simple mistake into a legendary blooper. One afternoon, while filming a scene with a horse, the animal decided it wasn't in the mood to cooperate. Instead of getting frustrated, Shawn turned to the horse and said in the most serious tone, "You remind me of Lou." The line wasn't in the script, but the delivery was so perfect that everyone burst out laughing, even Michelle Morgan, who pretended to be offended but couldn't hide her smile. Moments like these show how Shawn uses humor not just for fun, but to keep everyone calm and connected. Shawn is also known for his playful teasing, especially toward the younger cast members. During the filming of Season 19, he apparently had an ongoing prank war with Carrie James, Caleb. Every time Caleb's scene required a dramatic entrance, Shawn would intentionally mispronounce a word off camera or make a funny face to throw him off. Carrie, trying hard to stay in character, would often break into laughter mid-line. Eventually, they both admitted defeat and shared a hug, proving that no prank could ever disrupt the friendship they've built over the years. And let's not forget Shawn's chemistry with Amber. The two share one of the most heartwarming relationships on Heartland, both on and off screen. Their bond goes beyond acting. It's built on trust, love, and a shared sense of humor. In one memorable outtake, Amber tried to deliver a tearful goodbye line, but Shawn's beard accidentally brushed against her face, tickling her so badly that she completely lost her composure. Shawn just stood there with his classic poker face, pretending nothing happened, while Amber laughed uncontrollably. The moment was pure gold, a perfect example of how laughter can appear even in the most emotional scenes. Shawn's humor also extends to the crew, who adore his gentle teasing and storytelling. Between takes, he often shares funny anecdotes from his early acting days or cracks jokes about the unpredictable Alberta weather. There's something about his presence that instantly relaxes everyone around him. He doesn't try to be funny, it just happens naturally. His charisma and kindness create an atmosphere where mistakes aren't failures. They're just part of the fun. One of the most iconic behind-the-scenes moments came when Shawn decided to coach one of the horses through a scene. The horse refused to move, so Shawn started giving it dramatic pep talks like a motivational speaker. "You've got this, buddy. You're the star of the show. Don't let fear hold you back." Everyone on set was in tears from laughing, and by some miracle, the horse actually started walking again. Shawn bowed to the animal like he had just performed magic, and the entire crew applauded. It became one of the most talked about moments of the season's production, even though Shawn's humor often steals the spotlight. What truly makes it special is how it strengthens the sense of family among the cast. His laughter carries wisdom. It reminds everyone that even in a world full of deadlines, emotional scripts, and endless takes, there's always room to breathe and smile. His outtakes aren't just funny, they're comforting. They show us that behind the tough exterior of Jack Bartlett lies a man who knows that laughter is just as important as strength. By the time filming wrapped for season 19, Shawn had once again proven that he's not just the soul of the show, he's also its heartbeat of humor. But what's even more touching is how his spirit of laughter spreads across the cast, inspiring everyone to bring out their playful sides. Because as the cameras keep rolling, one thing becomes crystal clear. Heartland isn't just a series about family, it is a family, one that knows how to laugh together through every stumble and surprise. And if you thought Shawn's outtakes were unforgettable, wait until you see how the entire cast comes together in one final behind-the-scenes moment that captures the true spirit of Heartland, chaotic, heartfelt, and absolutely hilarious. By the time Heartland Season 19 wrapped up filming, something magical had unfolded behind the cameras, something that no script could ever capture. It wasn't just about the laughter or the funny mistakes, it was about the connection. The outtakes revealed the very soul of Heartland, a family that laughs together, stumbles together, and lifts each other back up every single time. You can see it in every giggle that escapes Amber Marshall, every playful eye roll from Michelle Morgan, and every witty one-liner from Shawn Johnston. These aren't just actors. They're real people who have grown together for years, building a bond stronger than any storyline. One of the most touching moments during the outtakes happened during the final weeks of filming. The cast had been shooting a particularly emotional farewell scene, the kind that usually leaves everyone quiet and reflective. But right as the cameras started rolling, a fly buzzed directly into Amber's face. She tried to ignore it for the sake of the scene, but ended up flailing her arms mid-sentence, startling everyone, including the horse beside her. What was supposed to be a serious moment turned into a burst of laughter so genuine that even the director couldn't bring himself to yell, "Cut!" Shawn stepped in with his usual humor, pretending to scold the fly for ruining perfect television. Moments like that show how laughter isn't just entertainment, it's healing. Throughout season 19, laughter became a language on its own for the Heartland family. Whenever someone forgot their line, tripped over hay bales, or accidentally called another character by their real name, it didn't lead to frustration. It led to joy. Even the crew members, usually hidden behind lights and cameras, became part of the laughter chorus. Everyone was in on the fun, because that's what Heartland has always been about: community. The energy of the set was less like a workplace and more like a family gathering, full of warmth, teasing, and inside jokes. Michelle Morgan once said that some of her favorite memories weren't from the scenes that made it to TV, but from the moments in between, when the cameras stopped rolling and everyone could just be themselves. Those small, silly interactions are what give the show its authenticity. It's why Heartland feels so real to fans, because it's built by people who truly care about each other. Every blooper, every shared laugh, is another reminder that the magic of the series doesn't just come from the script. It comes from the people breathing life into it. Amber Marshall, often seen as the steady heart of the show, described laughter on set as the glue that keeps us together. She's right. The harder the scenes got, the more they relied on humor to stay balanced. During an intense shooting week filled with emotional episodes, Amber reportedly brought cupcakes for the whole team, each decorated with tiny horses and cowboy hats. She joked that they were emergency happiness supplies. That's the kind of kindness that defines the Heartland cast. Simple, pure, and full of love. And while everyone had their share of funny moments, perhaps the most heart-melting outtake of the season came unexpectedly. During one group scene, after multiple failed takes full of laughter, Shawn Johnston looked around at his castmates and softly said, "You all make growing older feel like growing happier." The words weren't part of any script, but they hit home. Amber smiled, Michelle teared up, and the entire crew went quiet for a moment before applauding. It was real, unscripted, and deeply moving, a reminder that even the funniest moments come from a place of love. These outtakes from Heartland Season 19 aren't just bloopers to laugh at, they're a window into what makes the show so special. Behind every perfect shot are countless imperfect moments, filled with laughter, teasing, and the kind of joy that can only come from working with people who feel like family. The cast doesn't just play a family, they are one. Every smile and slip-up you see reminds us why Heartland continues to touch hearts around the world. Even after the cameras stop rolling, that laughter lingers. It's in the quiet corners of the barn, in the dust of the ranch roads, and in the friendships that have stood the test of time. Because laughter, as the Heartland cast proves again and again, is more than just a sound, it's a bond. It's the invisible thread that weaves through every season, every scene, and every heart that beats for this show. So, the next time you watch an episode of Heartland and feel the warmth in its story, remember this: the laughter you don't see is just as real as the tears you do. Behind every emotional goodbye and every touching reunion is a cast who can't stop cracking up between takes, proving that joy is the truest form of family. And maybe that's why Heartland still feels like home after all these years. Because even when they mess up, they remind us that laughter will always find its way back to the ranch.